Hello, welcome to the April HeartWay session. April brings with it a whole new energetic invitation. It is the start of a 1 month. And in this year of the HeartWay, we're in a place of inviting. And so when we start to step into April, we start with the energy of invitation. What is it that you want to invite into your life? What is it that you're wanting to most experience, and how do you want to be the highest frequency being you can be in your life? And I love how the journey of this year has been unfolding. It certainly has been aligning with the cards that we've experienced. So if we look at the HeartWay path for January, February, and March, we had January, which is about be brave, February about feel it, deal with it, and heal it, and March about assert your boundaries. And so January, February, and March have been this really paying attention to what needs to be paid attention to, what needs to end, what needs to begin. How do you start claiming back your space and energetically start taking responsibility for yourself? That has been a lot around what March has been about. And I'm not sure about you, certainly for me, there have been a lot of lessons learned. And so before you start stepping into this invitation for April, it can be amazing to sit down and really say, what am I learning? What has been important for me to take responsibility for? Energy and healing requires responsibility. Just notice in yourself what needs to be attended to, what it is that you need to care for. And boundaries is one of the acts of ability to respond to your life in a way that is good for you. Responsibility for you is your relationship with your boundaries. Sometimes we want other people to be responsible for us. Sometimes we want to be responsible for others. And so that can get blurry. But here we are in April. And as I said, it's a one energy, and we start off with a new moon at the beginning of April. And the card for April is raise your vibration. Now, there's a Merkaba at the top of this card. We can see a Merkaba here. And the Merkaba is the mind, body, heart, and spirit tool for expansion. And it is the symbol of the heart. So in this 1 month, we get the invitation to step into our heart fully and raise our vibration. To live from the frequency of your heart is a really, really different experience. And we can notice when we talk about dropping into our heart and noticing the frequency we are emitting, the frequency that we are creating in the world, we certainly can be emitting out energy that is one of fear, of scarcity, of anger, of mistrust. And that's okay. What we do get to understand is we do have choice points around how to open our hearts up to be able to emit a frequency that transfers that all into love and compassion, a sense of grace, serenity, and peace. What the world needs now is love and peace more than ever before. And so the invitation to raise your vibration, to take responsibility for the energy you bring into the room, for the energy you bring into the world. When you walk into a room, you have an impact. Whether you want to or not, it's irrelevant. And even if it's a virtual room, every time you're on social media, every time you're sitting at the dining room table with your family, every time you're in an interaction with anyone, you have an energetic blueprint that you place into that. And when you can take responsibility for the energy you put into the world, you can start to notice how you are contributing to what is going on in your world and the world. Because you're important, and what you do makes a difference, whether you know that or not. So learning to take responsibility for the energy I bring into the room, the energy I bring into the world, and say, what do I need to care for in myself so that I bring the highest possible frequency I can bring into the gym and into that world. This is not about perfection. This is not about needing to be happy all the time. This is not about being super energetic and happy and a laughter. That's not what we're talking about. It's more about making sure that when I step into my life, when I show up, taking full awareness or becoming fully aware, what's it like to be on the receiving end of me? And do I feel like this is good for me? If it's not good for you, it's not good for others. So there's a high level of self-awareness, self-responsibility, and self-care to shift your vibration. Now we talk about vibration. When we look at this card, we can see sort of a sound wave. We can see sort of like it's something that comes out of us. Yeah? People can feel it. You can feel it. People can say nothing. You can feel the energy of them. When we raise that, we open that up to be an experience that makes people feel safe with you, alive with you, open with you, or people can shut down around you. We're not doing this for them. We need to do this for ourselves. Because do you like who you are? Would you like to be on the receiving end of you? Starts to become a real question we can ponder on. Now, in the world of spirituality, we make vibration, frequency, being at a high frequency, all these things, we make them high performance goals. And often when I have worked with clients, and this may be the same for you, there's almost an experience of trying to force ourselves to be in a high frequency. And that is often based on the expectation that I'm supposed to ignore my emotions and be positive. There's this idea of be positive, don't feed the negativity, don't, be miserable in the world, etc., etc. And so what people do is they bypass, and this may be you, your true emotional state, your fear, your insecurity, your worry, your grief, your pain, your hurt, your anger, your mistrust. Bypass it and talk about how happy you are and positive you are. So the world of affirmations is often we have an experience where we say the affirmations that are meant to be said, these high frequency words, but they're just words because it never drops into our heart because it's never part of our emotional experience. And so understanding our frequency comes from our heart, not from our mouth and not from our mind. It comes from our heart. It comes from the internal story. It doesn't matter what I'm saying. If I'm saying all this positive stuff in the world, but I'm feeling ashamed, guilty, worried, scared, then that disconnect is what we are presenting to the world and what the world feels. And that's a frequency interrupt, because what is the truth? What is real? It's out of alignment. It's out of integrity. So when we can get honest, truthful about our inner story, from the way we are talking to ourselves and the way we are being in the world, that honesty, that awareness, that attention starts to bring us into alignment. And alignment is the frequency that takes us to a very powerful place. When I can be truly in alignment, I can honor my anger and say that that's a real experience for me. And then I can start to bring a level of acceptance, grace, love, and compassion to my anger. Now I start to emit a frequency that has not only got alignment, but kindness. Truth and grace are the highest experiences we can have. when we are truthful about our experiences internally and express it externally in a way that is graceful and kind and compassionate, that is when we are emitting at the highest frequency. So there are many things in the world that need to be spoken about: racism, war, judgment, criticism, bias, misery, hurt. When we talk about them from a place of truth and love, it's going to bring the opportunity for healing. When we talk about it from a place of aggression and judgment, fear and anger, it feeds it. So alignment is the first step to being in a high frequency state. Truth and compassion, grace, kindness, love. That is what brings us to a place to express the truth in a way that people can hear and accept and work with. To start with, if you're wanting to shift your own vibration, start paying attention to what's going on internally, and do not bypass that with the intention of being positive in the world. We call this toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing. Get truthful. Find a way for the people that you can express your truth with. And by expressing it, or at least witnessing it, you will find ways to be more expressive with it in a loving and open and peaceful way. If you would like to explore raising your own vibration, then we've got the HeartWay session. It's on the second Tuesday in April. What's that date? It's the 12th. So on the 12th of April is the next HeartWay session from 7 to 9. You're welcome to use the link and to sign up for that, either for live or the recording. And there I'll be talking about some powerful ways that we can live in a high frequency heart state and accessing the barriers you have to that. If you would like to know more about the law of vibration as well, I'll post a link to an Evolve seminar. I ran a program called Evolve, and we spoke about the law of vibration on that program. And there's a webinar around that you can purchase and look at. There's a meditation there as well. But for now, in April, let's talk about the truth of your life. And let's talk about that with acceptance and compassion. And through that process, we'll be able to heal it and shift it. Sending you lots of love. Namaste.